Hey guys, I'm starting this video because the last videos that I had on here, it's actually titled How I Survived a Car Wreck. It wasn't a car wreck. What had happened was in 1979, I was about 4 years old. Um, my family and the girl that actually ran me over, of course, she wasn't a girl, she was a mid-aged woman, but she was a friend of the family and she had her family down, including her husband. We were all down at the pool that day. It was hot. It was because it was summer break for the kids. And after being down there all day, we all wind down. We went to our separate place because we were living in apartment complexes where it happened. Happened in Farmers Branch, Texas. Is what I know so far. So my mother had ordered pizza, and when she left to go pick up the pizza, my dad was in the house. I believe there was a football game on because it's either September or October. I remember being hot, and I remember it was kids' summer break, so it could have been July or August, somewhere around there. I'm not really sure on that, but I do know it happened in 1979. So while my mother was gone, my dad had went into the restroom to do his business, and of course my sister and my cousin, he was there with us for summer break, was across the street playing with a little girl, and was my sister's friend. And I hollered at my dad, said, "Look, I'm going over there where my sister and my cousin's going." And he said, "Be careful, don't walk out across the street." Well, before I went out there, the woman who ran me over, the friend of the family, her name was Carolyn Gill, by the way, just in case you want to know, um, came in and asked my dad if we needed anything. They said, I don't remember it. Vaguely, I remember, not 100% sure if I really said this, but I said I wanted bubble gum. And Dad said, no, you're not getting bubble gum because, one, you haven't eaten yet. Two, um, we don't want you spoiling your dinner before you eat. And your mom was bringing something sweet home. So she left, and I was mad. And I said, well, I'm going out anyways. By this time, she had gotten her car with her husband. And as she was pulling out, I walked up between two parked cars. And I guess she was looking at her husband or saying something to him because the next thing that happened was, watch out. Of course, I wasn't in there, but that was all hearsay. The only thing that I remember is actually the pain. And then I don't remember anything after that. But the things that I am going to tell you is the things that my friends, my family, especially my family, has told me what had happened while I was in and out of conscious. Um, First of all, let me show you my foot. Y'all can understand where I'm coming from. I don't know if anyone you can see it, but if you can, what had happened was when she actually realized that she ran over my foot, instead of kept driving and breaks a few bones. Sorry about that, guys. Um, she slammed on her brakes. So my foot locked up between her wheel and the ground. And like, when she hit it, she actually drugged me about 10 feet. And of course, again, The things that I am telling you is what I was told. They said that she panicked and she couldn't get out of the car. So my cousin and my sister ran in the house and told my dad. And of course, they came out there, and I think I never really understood how they got the car off my foot, but they did move the car off my foot. And because of me being so little, and if you look again onto the videos, there's one little part that's tiny. That's actually my foot. And the biggest hump that you see is my leg. Just to go show you how little I was. And my dad could fit his whole hand over it because, like, this is your foot. Like, let's say these are your toes. Right here in the center, that whole thing crushed up like this. I mean, just, of course, you can't do it with your hand, but let's say this is the center of your foot, your leg going like this. It crushed it down like this. So all that was bones was tore up, and there was some blood vessels, except for one. Of course, at the time we didn't know it. But when they rushed me to the hospital, which is Parkland Memorial Hospital, which later took me to Children's Hospital, and they called in a specialist. His name was Dr. Spicer. I don't know what his first name was, but it was actually my aunt, which is my mom's sister, uh, in-laws, and they've got a hold of this doctor that they knew that could save it, because they were talking about amputated, if I'm saying that right, amputated. Anyways, when they called him in and I got it cleaned out, they fed me blood and got that to stop bleeding. I believe it was a few hours later they came out and they said, you know, they told my parents that they could save my foot, but the problem is they're going to have to do what they call a reconstruction surgery. Now, what they told my parents back in the day was called a bionic foot. I don't know if it's true or not. If you're in the medical, if that's what they actually called it back then, sorry. Um, Something that I really wanted to get into the research on my foot, actually see the x-rays, because I know they took x-rays months or even years after that just to see what it looks like inside. But anyways, the hump that you see, if it actually is on video, is muscle that they took out of my left leg. I have a scar from the hip all the way down to the knee. When they removed that muscle, that's what they put in my hollow spot of my foot. And this is after so many hours of surgery. My big toe, I can move it down, but most people could actually move their toe up, and I can't. I can move it up like that, but it just flopped down. And I have an artificial heel for balance. And they took skin graft off my right leg and put it over there. And that's how that happened. Um, because of having all these surgeries, it's a centimeter, my right leg is centimeter off, which threw my hip off and my spine off. And because of that, in 2001, when I was at work, I was working for a company that was a corporate owned, and I cleaned the outside because they like the gas tank and their logo clean. Instead of putting it down, the cleaning supply, I came down with it. Of course, if you've been to a gas station, especially ones that's got like the store in the center, and then you got the island and the tanks on each in the center of the building. Um, they have the high hump like a parking, so when somebody goes crazy and try to run into the store, it's actually leveled off. And I stepped off the ladder and then lost my footing. And when I fell back, I dropped the thing and caught the awning pole that supports the actual awning over the gas tank in the building, and I popped my disc out of place. And to better understand what I'm talking about there, it's like your disc has liquid in it. I squeezed it to enough that it trips slowly. And okay, I already said all that. I'm gonna have to stop here. I'm at 11 to 8 minutes. Thank you for following my story. Bye.